Well, Reds. We do have a little bit of life in our football team after all. Yes, it is only Luton, it is only the Carabao Cup, and you can take from it what you want. Second string team to start, subs came on in the end, did the job, clean sheet, Henderson looks good. So compared to how we finished the weekend after the Palace game, we'll take anything. But you know what? It was a tight game. It wasn't a 3-0 game, was it? It was one of them where the subs came on in the end and we were just clinical. Put the ball away. Rashford and Greenwood and Bruno looked really sharp when they came on. So that's a bit encouraging at least. So going forward, we're looking into the Brighton game now, and we've got a bit of a conundrum really because like I said, I would not have had any issue with changing that whole back line after the Crystal Palace game. No issue with that whatsoever. And the guys who come on the pitch today, I mean, I want you guys to tell me how many people would you change for that team on weekend? Which players would you play? There's some players who started the game tonight who I think actually should be in the team for Saturday. I don't think they should be dropped. And I'd be interested to see you thought and what you actually would do with the game ahead. The ultimate fear, obviously, is that Ollie has got the players that he likes to always pick. We know who sort of is going to be in that team at weekend, but is it about time now looking at that game? It is only Luton, I know. I'm not going to get carried away. I still remember what happened at weekend, but for me, Dean Henderson deserves a chance, doesn't he? He really does. I mean, he didn't have much to do tonight. He made a great save, but he just looks like, and this is what I've been getting at, he just looks like he's a lot more comfortable on the ball. He makes the defence feel a lot stronger, a lot more secure. And you know what? His save got us on the counter attack and nearly got us a goal. So I definitely be putting Henderson in there. I think Bailly definitely deserves a shout next to Maguire again. I think them two look a lot stronger. I'm not taking this lightly that it is only Luton Town, but I think them two do look a lot stronger than Lindelof and Maguire, and probably the right partnership for the game that we've got coming up because you know Eric Bailly's not going to get run off the ball like Lindelof does. You know the way he plays is aggressive. Yeah, he can be a bit rash, but you know what? I take that over Lindelof at the moment and the way he's shaping. Maybe Maguire will come in a little bit better. Maguire was a bit shaky at the start of this game, but then grew into it, started being a little bit more commanding again. Yes, again, Luton. I do know I'm not getting carried away, but after the weekend, I'm just trying to be slightly more positive going forward. 3 goals, clean sheet, and like I said, surprisingly encouraged by how sharp the subs were when they came on. And how where was that at weekend? We've only had a few days, but you know what? The issue that we're going to have here is Ollie and what team he picks. This just comes, they're still not convincing. This says, no, not one bit at all. We did look a bit slow and lethargic. I think Darren Fletcher nailed it at half time. We needed to get that second goal. But it's like I said, once United have got that goal, it seems like plan A always goes to plan, doesn't it? We always seem to get that win when we get the first goal. So for me, it's hard to say because what would have happened to this team if we'd have gone a goal behind? That's the big question. So I just feel like, yeah, it is a positive tonight, definitely. None of us are getting carried away, but decisions do need to be made. If I was Bruno and I was Pogba, I'd be looking at Van der Beek going, there's a danger there. There really is because it's all how well he plays it. What formation is he going to go with? How's he going to do it? How's he going to look at it? And you know what? He's got a decision to make. He has a decision to make because there are players who played there tonight who even started the game who are going to be knocking on that manager's door saying, what next? What have I got to do next? And you know what? It has to be taken into consideration because they are looking like they could definitely be a better option for us. 100% Bailly at the back, 100% Henderson for me in goal. People will say it's a case of, well, De Gea didn't really make any mistakes, did he, at weekend? But let's be honest, I'm not looking at his saves, and Henderson proved tonight he's just as good a shot stopper. It's what he does off the ball. It's what he does commanding his box, coming off his line, making the defence stronger. Bailly adds to that, and the defence may look a little bit more solid. Add Luke Shaw to that at left back. I know Luke Shaw has to improve from weekend, but add Luke Shaw to that as well, then you're definitely talking a different team, better in defence. So for me, I do feel like that has to be addressed. Then moving into the midfield, I mean, this is where the conundrum really comes on into because in midfield, I feel now like Van der Beek is probably looking like the sharpest one. Like I said, Bruno looked sharp when he came on. He was involved in the goals, and it's going to be a tough call for him. It really is going to be a tough call, and I just feel like is my internet slow, by the way? I don't know what it is. Let me turn the box off. Get that out of the way. Yeah, sorry if my internet is behind slightly, people. Internet issues. I don't know if it's this bad at this late at night with no one around. But yeah, I'm looking at that midfield now. Matic looks solid enough, didn't he? Looks the usual Matic, commanding, looks a bit more solid in front of the defence. Maybe that is the ultimate combination. Maybe Matic has to play whenever he is fit enough to play because he just makes it look a little bit more solid. I thought Fred played well tonight. Fred, does he deserve a shout? He's got some midfield to pick from there now, Ollie, because I thought Fred and Matic were better and looked sharper than what McTominay, Bruno, and Pogba did at weekend. And you know what? I'd probably be more concerned if it was Pogba and with anyone else. Although there is that ultimate issue, isn't there, with Ollie again in terms of Pogba. Does Pogba have to play every single time? And it was strange that he was the one who didn't play anything in pre-season, had COVID, and still started the game, and he was miles off it. Let's be honest, he was absolutely miles off the pace against Crystal Palace, and it showed. So he's probably going to come straight back into the team. I don't think he should. I think he's going to have to earn his spot now. Mitch P says Lingard played well. He did all right, didn't he? He looked sharp enough. Shooting boots wasn't quite on, but his link-up play with Mata was decent. I picked up on. And you know what? I keep saying it is only Luton, but they've won 4 wins in a row, championship team, and they probably would have been baying for blood there tonight. They would have thought there was a chance of getting at United, but you know what? We didn't really have much to do. They created little. Henderson had the one really good save to make, and in the end, that was it. And they puffed and puffed. But United, in the end, were clinical. Subs did help, let's be honest. It was a kind of a even game until the subs came on, and then that was it. Good night, Vienna won it. It was a case of Rashford just absolutely annihilated them for pace. Greenwood's touch looked bang on, and like I said, Bruno was sharp when he came on, and that way too much for anyone to handle. Let's see. I think Mata was poor. Well, I didn't think Mata was horrendous, to be honest. I thought link-up play was decent. He had his moments here and there, but you know what? His penalty was the one that gave us the opportunity in the second half. I understand he's slow, his speed. I'm not bigging him up completely, but this was a perfect game for Mata to get some game time. Mata's a sub in it, let's be honest. He is a sub. Games like this, he can come in handy because he can give a break to a Bruno or one of the other forwards and just give us that little bit of something else. But then when we're at a stalemate in a game, the pace isn't working and the others are off, Mata could come on. He isn't a starter in the Premier League. We know that. I'm saying that as well. But tonight, I thought he did well. I thought it was okay for the level we were playing at. And it was just a tidy game, wasn't it? No real bad mistakes. A bit sloppy in the first half, especially in spells. But for me, it was sort of routine and never really threatened us. And that was with us being slightly on the par, to be honest. Well, compared to weekend, it was better, wasn't it? But anything's better than weekend, and it was championship opposition. So, yeah, I think all in all, we'd have taken it 3-0. Makes us feel a little bit better. It all gets forgotten about, of course, if we turn up like we did against Palace, against Brighton at weekend. Early kick-off, a bit more, well, a few more minutes under the belt for some key players. How are we going to be any sharper and ready? I mean, Ollie's going on saying in 5 games. I heard Steve McLaren tweeted it out saying you got to judge United after 10 games. How many points do you want us to be behind? So how far do you want us to be behind before you start judging us? I apologise if I've got an issue with United writing 5 games off. I don't think we can do that because we haven't got 5 wins in a row in this team. We only got 4 last season. That was after lockdown. So for me, we have to win this game at weekend. Otherwise, we're completely up against it. You're talking Jadon Sancho. If United want to leave Jadon Sancho and we're not in the Champions League next season, I still think Jadon Sancho won't come next season. You have to get him now. But can you imagine our chances of getting Sancho if we weren't in the Champions League? So every game matters. You can't be sloppy and say, oh, we're slightly behind because of the pre-season. Look what City and Wolves have done. You know what I mean? I watched that game last night and they were raring to go. City are missing players everywhere. Still the same sharpness. Why can't we be as sharp as our nearest rivals? Is that an issue? Are we not as fit as everybody else? Is our setup completely wrong compared to everyone else? This is the thing you got to look at with United, because you know what? We're being left behind with the way other teams are being run, it seems, because how come they're so far ahead and so good and we're miles and miles behind in terms of how we look on the pitch, sharpness wise, fitness wise? I don't get that, and I'm not willing to let that go. That is a big issue for me. But back onto tonight, it's what it is, isn't it? It is next round. Ollie's still on for a trophy. We're still in all trophies anyway, put it that way. At least we're not out of one of them. That would have been. Can you imagine the meltdown if we had a defeat tonight after that, and then we went into that Brighton game? At least we managed to bag some goals from open play tonight, which is good, because that is what has been lacking. We were lucky with a goal we got against Crystal Palace at weekend, but we have been lacking goals from open play, creativity. And you know what? It's good for the likes of Greenwood and Rashford to get their first goals of the season. Martial hopefully can join that as well at weekends. And you know what? That little goal, even though it's against crap opposition, can give you a little bit of a boost. And hopefully that's what them players are going to get now going forward. And we can move on from here, because that's what we need to do now. We need to move on from weekend, try and put it behind us and push ahead towards the Brighton game, because the Brighton game is the big one. It's a massive, massive game now, because we can't afford to lose it. Like I said, we lose that, then we're going 9 points behind either Arsenal, Liverpool, could be even 4 or 5 teams we're 9 points behind. That's 9. Like I said before, we have to win 4 games in a row to claw that back. And we didn't do that. We did that once last season. I used to say that everyone else is going to slip off completely. We have to give ourselves a chance of having a bit of a lull in the season. That's what we need to do. Picture quality is poor. I think my internet is just dying, guys. It really is. I think it's just having a massive crash on me. I don't know what it is. It does my head in, but what can I do? Late night internet's killing me. But you get the gist of it. You get the point of where I'm getting at. And you know what? It's the Carabao Cup. It's the 3rd round. We're through. And we have to look ahead towards the weekend now. And that is it. A bit more of a confidence booster. And it's what this club needed. It's what we really needed. So I think there's big decisions need to be made from Ollie at weekend. I do think that we need to look at other players, especially players from this game, and think, you know what, there could be a change at weekend. Let's not go back to our dead certs. Let's not play Lindelof, for God's sake. Let's not do it. It's not worth it, is it? To be honest, it's not worth playing Lindelof now. We've got to be able to think, right, okay, we've got another option other than Lindelof because it's not working. If it's broke, fix it. If it ain't, don't. We got a clean sheet tonight. We looked half decent against Luton. I know it's Luton, but you know what? You got to take what positive you can from it. I'm not going to go on and on, guys. I have got more updates to do, but the internet is just destroying me tonight. So I'm going to leave it there and just say thanks for tuning in to the video. It's only going to be a short one. It was a low-key game, but I'll be back later on this week, hopefully with the internet all working properly and obviously the build-up. So let's look at it this way. We're feeling better than what we did at weekend, and that's all I'm going to take from it. But guys, cheers for sticking in with us. I know it was a crap one tonight in terms of video quality and stuff, but I will be back stronger and I'll get it all set up ready for weekend, and we'll be back and I'll give you an update before weekend on the competition as well. So stay tuned for that. Take it easy, people. Like, share and subscribe. I will see you before weekend, hopefully with some transfer news as well. But other than that, take it easy, guys. I'll speak to you soon.